If you don't have a compass, number one, that'll be okay because you can do this without a compass. I'll show you both ways. But number two, even if you do have a compass, unfortunately, these aren't the greatest compasses. So if you start using it and you're like, I'm not getting enough accuracy with this, then just ditch it. We'll still be able to do it anyway. Okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start by drawing a square. Now, I've thought about this. I've given it a go. On an A4 page, if you've got an A4 book, you should be able to draw, and make sure it's on like one side of the page, don't draw it right in the middle. You should be able to draw a 10 centimeter square. On an A4 page, you should be able to fit that, and we'll be able to construct the rest out of it. If you do not have an A4 page, yours will obviously need to be, well, I don't know, roughly half the size, something like that. Okay, the bigger you can make it, the better, but I'm going off measurements of kind of like 10 centimeters. Now, draw your 10 centimeter square. Okay, there you go. And you don't have to mark this in, but all of that equal sides there. Okay. So, yeah. So draw this on one side because what's going to happen in a second is we're going to construct extra things on the side, right? So, yeah. Do a landscape. It doesn't matter which side, you'll decide which way. Like I'm going to construct it this way because that's where I have space, but you'll construct it in a different direction. That's no big deal. Right, now, remember I said, for me this is 10 centimeters across the bottom, okay? So I want to mark on this bottom side, for me, I'm going to mark out the midpoint of this side down here. So that's going to be 5 centimeters long for me. If your square is a bit smaller or bigger, you get the idea, okay? So suppose I get that. That's my midpoint. Okay, there's my midpoint there. Right, now, with your ruler, I want you to join up this midpoint, okay, with the corner of the square that's opposite in the direction you want to construct. Okay, so for example, if you're like me, and I have no space to draw more stuff over here, I'm not going to draw this way, right? So I want you with your ruler, draw yourself a dotted line up there. Okay. So there you go. Now, if you want to do this with a compass, here's what you're going to do, okay? You're going to place your compass point on that midpoint over there, okay? And stretch it out so that the other end of the compass, right, just like my two arms, is going to be on that corner. Okay, so there you go. You're going to have this distance measured out. Okay? Now, with your compass that long, if you've got a compass, if you don't have one, I'll show you how to do this in a second. I want you to draw an arc. It's going to look like this. It's going to come down like this, okay? So in some ways, this is like the center of a circle. This is the radius, okay? So it'll look something like this, roughly. Is that okay? So I've started from here, and I've just drawn the arc down. It's important that it goes all the way past the side of the square, okay? Now, if you do not have a ruler, a compass, that's okay. Instead, what I want you to do is measure out that length, and measure it very carefully. Just write down what you get that measurement to be. Now, again, coming back to the compass, you've drawn this arc, right? You're going to have that meet up with, remember this side which has the midpoint on it? I want you to extend it along. Extend it along. Okay, so it's going to look like this. So that's going straight along, and you'll see your arc and your new extended part, they will meet. Ta-da, there. Okay. Are you following so far? Now, if you didn't have a compass, instead of doing that arc and finding that point by the intersection, what you're going to do is just take that, whatever you measured, right? Take whatever you measured. And because this should be the arc of a circle, and here's the center, right? Yeah, this distance will be the same as this distance, right? They're both radii of the same circle. Okay, that's all the compass is achieving. It's just giving us the same distance without needing to measure it out. So, one way or another, either by putting through that arc, or measuring out this distance, now you've got this new point. Right, well, this new point down here is going to form it's going to be one of the corners of a new rectangle we're going to draw. Okay? So from this extended line up here, through our new point, okay, we're going to draw a line straight up, perpendicular, like this. Okay? You see it's gone up, there's my right angle in there to show you that this is going to be a rectangle in a second. Okay? And then what I want you to do is join up that corner at the top. lines. And now we have a shape. I need a new color. Whoa. So far, hopefully, you've mostly caught up with me. We have a new rectangle, okay? It goes all the way around like this. And if you've got another color as well, maybe you want to highlight it too because you'll have a few construction lines flying around. So to highlight it, here's my rectangle. Okay. Now, here is what I would like to suggest to you. This rectangle, this one that we just constructed by use of this compass or this measurement. Okay? I put to you that this rectangle is beautiful. I think it has a quality about it. It's a very important rectangle. It's all about the proportions. This construction that you did gave it certain proportions. Okay? This rectangle is so beautiful, even if you don't look at it and you say, oh wow, that's not bad looking. Okay? People the world over recognize the beauty of this rectangle. I'll give you some examples. Almost every iconic piece of architecture, almost every one, okay? For instance, the Taj Mahal, if you don't recognize it, okay? In which case you need some history lessons. The Taj Mahal is constructed out of these rectangles, right? You've got three, you may be able to just make it out, there's three of them. There's one there, that's the big one, okay? And then these two on the sides adjoin it. Well, it sort of goes all around, it's symmetrical. Okay? The Taj Mahal made out of golden rectangles. It's not the only one. Another famous example, see if I can do it like this, is in Greece, ancient Greece in particular. This is, anyone know what it's called? Starts on the P. It's the Parthenon. The Parthenon, right? Now, you can think about this two different ways. You can look at the front. You got the front. I know it's off at a perspective angle, but you can still kind of make out, in that front, you've got golden rectangles everywhere. Not only that, but the reason why I picked this shot is because if you look from the top down, if you had an aerial view, right? This length to this length, these sides being perpendicular, right? Guess what it looks like from the top? Okay? I can keep going. Go to Paris. Go to France. Okay, that's Notre Dame, the cathedral. Okay? Again, built out of golden rectangles, right? Rectangles with the golden ratio. There's hundreds of them there. Okay? I could overlay it, but then you wouldn't see Notre Dame anymore. Okay? One more. You're like, wait a second. That's not even a rectangle, right? True. That's the Great Pyramid in Giza. Okay. You know, it's the only surviving of the wonders of the world, right? The ancient wonders of the world. But the golden ratio is nestled in there, just like it's nestled in here. Okay. Now, let's actually find out what this thing is. Let's not just draw it. Okay. Let's find out. Well, what is this number, this ratio that's underpinning this? Okay.